Stream is
There we go.
Where's the birthday boy? It's
Oh
Wilson's
yeah.
birthday this week.
Yeah, it probably has a cake.
Can't get out of the cake.
And
I picked up. I'll show you this is the box that my Steve Rude.
Speaking of which, there he is.
There's the birthday boy. Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Did you bring cake?
No, I did not. But I did put cinnamon in my coffee, and it gives it that holiday flavor.
Well, I couldn't even eat cake right now anyway because my stomach was upset this afternoon, so I'm not eating.
Oh, sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm not hungry anyway, so I'm not going to test it. No. But this is the box that the Steve Rude book I'll show you came in. But it says on it, warning, you are now part of the Return to Earth, Operation Process Leak. Document your unboxing and report your progress to tag Steve Rude the dude. So I was like, all right, I'll make a video. So I made a video this afternoon.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Before I came on, but
we have people. Hey Tim.
Hello there.
Hi, Captain Finity.
Captain Finity.
Hello.
And beyond. I got lots of comics again tonight because got my regular pull list haul plus some stuff I ordered from Lone Star, mycomicshop.com. Some 80s fills I wanted.
Ooh, that sounds like fun. I did also pick up books. So I had 3 waiting for me, and I picked up a few off the shelves. And I have to say, I would have picked up a few more off the shelves, but for this week and maybe next week, I'm boycotting one of the comic book companies. Or for personal reasons, of course. But it's like I was upset.
Mad at them.
I was upset. I got mad at them. I'm like, I'm not giving them any of my money this week, and maybe not even this week.
Yeah, and the things that SBPT sent me finally arrived.
Oh, great!
Right. Did I see a Marvel Age flashed up there?
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. It was quick.
I saw somebody, some TikTok showing off their, what was it? Marvel Now Omnibus, which I think we've discussed before as the most useless omnibus, and he was saying it too. But he got it for $15 on eBay, and I checked eBay, and sure enough, you can get them shipped for around $25. Marvel Now is the one that has the first issues of all the Marvel Now relaunches from a few years ago.
Yeah, that's pretty much useless.
Yeah. Said it had some good comics in it, like the first Matt Fraction Hawkeye, but only the first issue. Matt Fraction Hawkeye, and there was a couple other things he named, but he's like, but it's just the first issue of all this stuff. For some reason, Marvel Age reminded me of that. Probably because we've discussed how, Marvel Age we'd like to have and then never, ever read.
Exactly. I know I would look through it. I would definitely look at all the pictures.
Yeah.
I
remember that. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I just don't know if I would read the articles. I also am interested, if I was to look through it, is to see what projects was announced and never got made.
Yeah.
Because you would have those in those types of books. That's kind of like the old Amazing Heroes, Comic Shop Insider, I think. There's so many books on like the books advertising the series and stuff like that. What's coming out? Here's some artwork, and then sometimes you just never see that project. It dies right on the vine, type of thing. The clear ones are the original Marvel DC crossovers. What could have been with the Justice League versus the Avengers, and we eventually would get them, but it's not what we were promised way back when. So it's like it'd be interesting to look at those.
I have one of those on a much smaller scale. Right when I got out of school, I decided to try some self-publishing. So I came up, I think I may have, it's not very good because I was right out of school, but I drew a couple of issues of this book I wanted to try out, but it was right as the black and white boom was dying.
Right.
So I was like, oh, let's see what happens if I never went to press on it because didn't get enough orders, but I sent it out to the actual distributors or whatever. And ironically got more orders than when my friends and I self-published our book in the 90s when the industry was dying. Late 90s during Marvel's bankruptcy. But that one that never got published, I think it's in Amazing Heroes or something. They were looking at stuff that was being published that year, and I think they picked that out. And so there's a little blurb about it in Amazing Heroes, I think it was. I still have it somewhere on my shelves. That was one that I was just like, can't publish. Don't have them, you know what? Not enough orders to go through. And the orders were like, I don't know, maybe 600 copies.
Right.
Which compared to 1997's 300 copies which we went through with anyway, because we were selling them all over wherever we could, but still not enough of them. I was like, that was better than 10 years later with a much better comic in a dying market. If only I had Kickstarter back in 1989.
Exactly. It's amazing how I remember when Kickstarter first came out, I was like, oh, we could do this for comics. And people were like, nah. It's like, all right, but it sounds good. It's like, it'll never work. And it's like, and these are the same people that told me, yeah, don't buy Bitcoin. I think that's ridiculous. I should have never listened to people. I really shouldn't have. But what are you going to do? The other book that I saw and didn't pick up was that Superman Spider-Man crossover.
Oh, okay.
It's like they're at
they
least
put out a facsimile of that.
a facsimile of it, of the Treasury size edition.
Right.
And so I saw it's the original cover. Then it's an Alex Ross cover, which is beautiful. And then there was the silver foil cover, which is about $4 more. So that's not too bad, I guess. And then as I was paying for my regular books, they also had a sketch cover. I was like, oh, I tempted to pick that up. But since they had that behind the counter, I know that was going to be a larger price. And it's like, I do have an account with them. I will probably save like 20% if I just order it online. Because if I pick it up off the shelf, I'm going to pay full price. It's like, the fact that it is also that oversized Treasury edition size is beautiful, but I just don't like storing those. So it's really easy for me to go, nah.
There you go, Tit Goblin.
in the Steve Rude box that I did in Moxley, they put in a candy cane.
Oh, neat.
Are those edible?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real candy cane.
It is. It's not a pen. It's not a candy cane pen, so you must be able to eat it.
Yeah. Captain Infinity says, my advice, always ignore other people's products. All right.
What was that line in do you know who's it? Baz Luhrmann, the
wear
filmmaker?
Sunscreen.
The commencement.
Yeah, always be free to wear always
remember to wear
sunscreen. Yeah.
Sunscreen.
It always remember? Yeah, always remember where he gives a whole bunch. And one of the lines in there is always take advice, but be careful who you get it from, because advice is often a form of nostalgia.
Yeah.
I was like, that always stuck with me.
Yeah, it makes more sense, especially when I'm scroll through TikTok and you see people talking about, oh, do this when you're making comics, do that when you make comics. And one lady pops up and it's like, by the way, don't listen to older comic book people because they're not currently working in the industry. And whatever advice they give you isn't going to work now. And it's like that. At first, I was upset, and it's like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Because I have many times.
It's a different world out there with social
completely. I've had conversations with people who, worked steadily in the 90s and only remember the 90s. So they're thinking, oh, if they put out a book now, they should get those same numbers they were getting in the 90s. And it's like, oh, no one's getting those numbers at all.
Make sure 2 of the characters have the name Blood in them, and the others have Blade and Claw.
And pockets. And everyone has to have pockets.
And if there are team jackets.
Yes.
So, somebody posted in one of those 90s Facebook groups about, hey, why did the Avengers wear jackets?
Don't know. Because Bob Harris was writing it, and when he wrote the X-Men, he gave them jackets. I don't know if he was trying to get toys made or maybe get jackets made.
Yeah, he wanted a jacket.
Yeah, he probably wanted a jacket.
That's what I'm guessing. He wanted a jacket.
Because I don't know if it makes I don't know if it's any quicker to draw those characters with jackets on than it would be to just have their regular costumes. It was just an oddity.
I think it is quicker because you don't have to draw as much musculature. But of course, you have to know how to draw a jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all wore the jackets with their sleeves rolled up, which means that they bunched up at the top of the arm. So you have to know how it folds. So
yep, and
which I suppose, and I think that explains why Tom Palmer was the inker. Because Steve Epting was only doing breakdowns and Tom Palmer was the fast inker.
Yeah, maybe. And it was the same jacket, the same brand. It's like maybe the Avengers and the X-Men bought those jackets in bulk, and they just handed them out to each other.
I dropped my little foam ring and I can't find it.
From the same store where Bruce Banner buys his pants.
There you go. Unstable Molecules. Made by Reed Richards. So he was probably having a sale.
I mean, I don't quite understand how Dane Whitman wore a jacket on top of armor.
Unstable Molecules.
Unstable Molecules. The only guy in the team who didn't wear a jacket was no, there were 2 people. So it was Thor, who at the time was Eric Masterson.
Right, and but he had a sleeveless jacket, basically.
When he was Thunderstrike, yeah.
Yeah.
Found me way too long. Took me way too long to find it. Just fell under my desk. It's too much stuff under there.
Jared, in the case of the missing rubber rings.
These I play with, like, as we sit here and talk. They're just foam rings, and I pick them up all the time. That I think 2 years ago I bought a Nintendo Switch and they came packaged. These were over the thumbsticks and the packaging. I have played with these 2 foam rings more than the Nintendo Switch.
I am not surprised. Nobody plays Nintendo Switch. Everybody knows that console peasants are normies who only play one console, and PC supremacy, they don't play consoles.
I play my iPad more than just little,
But did you know about did you know about the PC console war?
The PC console war? I knew about the one in like the 90s.
Between
going on?
No, between gamers, between types of gamers.
Oh yeah.
Because PC players call console players console peasants. Supposedly because their games were easier.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's actually PC is easier in terms of when somebody in these games, when somebody who has a PC goes against somebody with a console, the PC player always wins, almost always, because the keyboard is more of an advantage than the thumb pad. At least that's what I read 10 years ago.
Well, and when they started making games for highly upgraded PCs, they started upping the type of graphics. It's more about the graphics because the gameplay is basically the same.
Well, no,
since the 90s.
It's about you can make precise movements with a keyboard. Like, let's say you want to move out from a wall and shoot someone. It's 1, 2, shoot, 1, 2, back, 1, 2, shoot, 1, 2, back. When you're doing that with a thumb pad, it's like nudge, and you nudge it too much, you nudge it too little. So there's more precision you can do with the gameplay.
No, that would be quite a New Year's resolution.
Dun, dun, dun.
Time to start drinking. But no, this is actually water. I do have a new bottle of whiskey, but I haven't opened it yet.
I've got my same old bottle, but I've got a few bottles. So.
Yeah, this was given to me by one of my racer friends. You have his number here.
Ah.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, he was racing GT. He had just stopped racing single seaters. He had moved on to GTs. He raced a McLaren and a Lamborghini for a while. In the last few years, he's been racing in the Brazilian NASCAR Championship. Yes, there's one Brazilian. There's NASCAR Brazil. There's NASCAR Mexico. There's NASCAR Canada. There used to be NASCAR Australia.
Branching
and there was an then there was an imitation NASCAR Australia after NASCAR Australia bit the dust.
Huh.
And there are 3 imitation NASCAR Argentinas, but they don't use the name NASCAR. And there was 2 different imitations of NASCAR UK at different times. There is a NASCAR European Championship, which is not run on oval tracks. There are no, and it's mostly Italian drivers.
Let me show you something I found through TikTok. Because I saw someone showing off the George Perez one. I think I may have known these existed, but then I forgot. This is Joelle Jones.
Yeah.
And they're made to be torn out. They're prints of her covers. And there's like a dozen of these from DC. And you see it's pretty big. It's around 10 by 14. And I saw someone show off the George Perez one. I was like, oh, that's
Hello,
cool.
Terrence.
So I went and looked on Amazon for them. And like I said, there's like 2 Jim Lee ones, a George Perez one, all like Joshua Middleton. There's just tons and tons. And this one, I got this one because it was a couple bucks cheaper than anyone. And yeah, they're around $25.
Nice.
And there's 20 plates. That's it. And there's like a ghost version of the plate on the back side that gives the credits. So the actual print side doesn't have the credits on it. The credits are on the ghosted back side. Like there, it gives you the who did. And it's all Joelle Jones plus the colorist. But
okay,
you know,
that's pretty neat.
we love comic book covers here.
Yep.
So you can get and like I can feel the pages falling out almost as I because it's like they're bound to be. It's made to be tear them out. So it's not bound to be a book. It's bound to be almost like a sketch, a pack of Bristol paper, where you tear out the pages. That's a nice one.
Well, she has Joelle Jones. She has a good sense of pinup design.
Yeah,
because the only cover there with movement,
right?
It's not very dynamic. But when it comes to pinups, she has she has a great sense of design. A bit like Tony Harris, I guess.
She's got a good sense of design, and she's got good technique too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as you was flipping through the book, I thought it was like that page so thin that you could see the other side. And then I'm glad that you mentioned it was reversed on purpose, and then it has the credits on it.
Right. It's thick paper. I mean, it feels like it doesn't feel like book paper. It feels like it's a print of some kind. It's thick.
Hello, Lefties. In Stock Trades has all their DC 40% off. You can get that for $15.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'll have to check into it. But like, I think I may have known they existed like 4 years ago, but I completely forgot until I saw someone showing one off on TikTok. And I'm like, oh, cool. I love books about comic book covers. I didn't even realize it was because it's called the Poster Portfolio. That's the name of the line. You know, George Perez Poster Portfolio, Joelle Jones Poster Portfolio.
Very cool.
They should do a Kit Giffen one.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Like I said, they had probably 10 or 12 of them. I can't even remember that they published, but I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get one. Give it a look." In Stock Trades has them, huh? Oh, Comic Crack is here.
Yeah.
Welcome.
He came in while you were holding up the.
How are you doing?
So what's good to read this week?
What's good to read this week?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What would I say was my this? Well, it wasn't quite this week, but we'll pull. This one is this week. We'll show you this one first. Arcadia. Continues to be good. This is written by Inaki Miranda and Roy Miranda, illustrated by Inaki Miranda, with colored by Eva Dela Cruz, and Dave Sharp is our letterer. And this is issue 2 of, I think they're going 12. Some nice art. And these guys right here are artificial. Well, they don't know what they are. I assume they're some sort of artificial human. Oh, and those are what do they call them? The turned, they're sort of like zombies that come out sometimes. But humans wiped themselves out. They're living in the remains of human civilization, but there are no humans. And see that thing on his forehead? That's what leads me to believe they're artificial people. They've got this, there we go. They've got that thing on their forehead, that jewel, and that's where their consciousness is. So this and it's kind of a sad story too, because that guy right there, the guy in front, is dying because they live for a few hundred years, but then they get this thing called the void, which is a disease that you can literally see on their skin. And you can see their skin change color, so they know they're dying, and their skin their skin changes color until it reaches the gem on their forehead, and then they die. And and it's like having Alzheimer's too. They slowly lose their memory as it goes up. And that guy I showed you is trying to figure out. It's like they don't know what they are.
Hello, Dono.
Hello there.
What's up?
Hello.
So he's been trying. He's a smart guy. Been trying to figure it out. But he's dying. He's got the void. So he now records himself so that it's sort of like what was that movie where the guy was living backwards?
Memento.
Benjamin Button.
Yeah, well, there's that one too. I forgot about Benjamin Button's. I mean, that's our Gatsby guy. So he records himself to tell him the project he's working on so he can get back to work on it. And the story, and so there's a whole lot of sadness in this story. There's fun, because they also can't have kids. But the story is being narrated by the first kid who was, we don't even know if he was born or made or whatever. But there's two characters in the story, one of them being the guy on this bike, the guy with blue hair, who's sort of young, and he's the apprentice of this guy, but he's not as bright as this guy. And this girl he's got a crush on, who we know from the narration, they're going to end up having this kid who narrates it. But the sadness of this guy dying, and there was one line in it that killed me. Let me see if I can find it at the end. Because it's about the kid talking about his father's death, too.
Benjamin Button is lived backwards. Memento is lived forwards, but filmed backwards.
Yeah. Memento lived forwards, but filmed. Okay. So he's just Weedy is the name of the guy who's dying. He's like, Weedy loved my father. My father loved Weedy. They never told each other. Death separated them one day, and only silence across time remained to unite them. And then the last line is, the day my father died, I wasn't there to hold his hand. And that kind of ends the story. And it was such a sad note. It was like, because we find the guy we're reading the story, and we don't know how old the kid who's narrating it could be 70. Who knows? But we know his father died. Who we're reading the story about, his father died at some time, and he wasn't there to hold his hand. So it's just like, So it's about these. I assume they're artificial people. We don't really know, but I assume they're like artificial AI people that the humans invented to help them, but then the humans all died in the big war, and the artificial people went on. That's what I figure it is, but we really don't know. So these artificial people maybe they are artificial, maybe they're not. They're trying to figure out what's going on. But really good read. Good. First two issues have been very good.
Mm-hmm. It's got some shades of Logan's Run with the visual cues to them dying.
Yeah. But it takes 300 years rather than 30.
Right.
And then and like that guy has also been collecting the gems of people who died. He's like, maybe since our consciousness is in there, maybe we can revive them somehow. So it's got a collection of. So maybe it's headed in that way. Maybe it's not. Who knows?
Or maybe he's making a glove.
Yeah, maybe he's making a glove. But that was one of the best reads of the week.
I can't recommend any reads because I didn't pick up my books till today, and I didn't read any of them. But if I was to recommend something just on the basis of cover, then I would say IDW's issue number 2 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Godzilla. So Godzilla, who's been celebrating his, I believe, 75th birthday, has been visiting so many different universes, and now he's visiting the Turtles.
He is everywhere.
He is completely everywhere, and then it's a little hard to keep up with him. So, in the first book, you find out that the Foot Clan was basically brought together in the first place to fight against the giant monsters. So both Shredder and Master Splinter both have histories with the giant monsters. So that's kind of neat that the lore goes back pretty far. So here are just some pages from the book to show. I'm looking forward to it as it continues. They had a ton of covers, and I was really close to picking up this cover. Mainly because it's very cute, and the designs are the fact that Playmates have made some Ninja Turtles crossing over with Godzilla, and I got these for Christmas from my brother. And so what they did is they basically turned the turtles into the kaijus. So you have Leonardo as Godzilla. You have Raphael as Rodan. And then you have Michelangelo as King Ghidorah, which is what was on that cover. and then Donatello is Jet Jaguar, but they haven't made him yet. I don't know why he's been slow to release. But as you can see, that's the Michelangelo King Ghidorah cover.
At least they give it to you.
Yeah.
And inside, that's good.
Yeah. So it's like, so you get to see all the covers. So it's pretty neat. Here's a previous one as well. And I really do like this when they do give us all the other covers. So you can pick the one you want, but on the inside you can see all the other covers without the trade dress. So you get a nice look at them. Shredder with a Godzilla-ish kind of look to the mask and helmet. And this one's also a pretty neat one. It's like Godzilla's annoyed that he has to deal with this. And then that's the cover that I end up having. So I would recommend that just for the sheer silliness of it. And if you want to stay on the Turtles, you have Battle Nexus, which is their crossover event, which is some creature creates an arena for them to fight, and they're pulling turtles from different universes. So it looks like these are the Jim Henson movie Turtles versus the just released a couple of years ago newer Turtles from the animated movie. And as I mentioned, Battle Nexus, you have a creature bringing things together, literally saying, now fight.
Yeah, there were a few storylines in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures comic from Archie in the 90s, where they went to a world which was basically a giant wrestling ring.
Oh yes, because I do remember that, because eventually one of them had like a whole black costume wrestling persona.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Raphael, and he brings the costume with him, and he for a few issues is wearing that costume instead of the red bandana.
Ah. Was it an alien symbiote at the end? Because you take it a superhero into outer space and he comes back dressed all in black. Sounds a little familiar.
The other, I would give that one an A+ read, that Arcadia that I just saw, and there was a second A+ read this week, which actually isn't from this week. It's from a few weeks ago, but they reordered it for me after I got the trade, which is Assorted Crisis Events #7. There's that guy with the bodies raining above him. And this is the one that all the stories are done in ones. And I'm not exactly sure how to categorize it. Science fiction? Horror? Because the artist is really good. The artist is an excellent storyteller. Who does this one? Where's the writer is Dennis Camp. The artist is Eric Zawadsky. Jordi Belair, colorist, and Hassan Atzman El How is our letterer. Let me show you there. There's our credits. So the kind of the concept behind it, there's a little bit of his drawing. The concept behind it is, and the reason and it's funny, when I first saw it, I wasn't that interested in it because I thought it was like a parody of superhero crossover event books, because that's what it seems to be with, that sort of name. But it's actually sort of stories of everyday people caught up in these big crisis events. So it's like, let's just say there's a big superhero crisis event out there that happens. What happens it's this completely incredible things that happen to everyday people. And this one, all those bodies raining down are because this one guy, regular old guy, working a job, doing whatever, his own dead body keeps showing up. So like it keeps materializing around him. So he could be sitting there drinking his coffee in the morning, and all of a sudden his dead body, stabbed to death, shows up next to him. And what does he do?
Yeah.
At first, he calls the authorities want nothing to do with him. They're like, you're on your own, man. So he has to figure out what to do with these dead bodies. And of course, it makes him, outcast, because nobody wants a guy. And in this story, the dead bodies are starting to show up more and more frequently. And it said at first it freaked him out. Now it's just a disposal thing. What does he do with these dead bodies? So it's the story about this guy's life kind of being ruined by his own dead body materializing around him. First it was once a week, maybe once every few days, but now they're happening multiple times a day. So it's like, and it's just so well done. It's like, a story. Who thinks of a story like that and pulls it off? So it's like, is that science fiction? Is that horror? Is that, I don't even know how to categorize it. Is there a category on the back? Let's see.
Yeah.
I would guess science fiction.
Twilight Zone.
Yeah, Twilight Zone, science fiction, close to horror. But yeah, without an answer, to what's causing it.
No, there's no.
Yeah,
it's him living with it.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's about. And that's what the story is about. All the things you have to live with when you're an ordinary person during these crisis events, when worlds are merging, doors of, like I remember the explanation given in the first issue of how, like, the president, because of course, at first there was mass panic, and the explanation given by the president to calm everyone down was, like the people from the future they're like, don't worry. All the different dimensions are infinite. So the odds of this being your future are 0. So you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, it's fine.
And we have Chris.
Hello there.
Hello.
What's up?
And I've read, I think, 1 or 2 issues of the many deaths of Layla Starr. I know a lot of people liked it, and I didn't dislike it. I think it was just one of those occasions where I didn't have room on my pull list. It was one of those occasions where I may have kept buying it if I had room in the budget, but I only read a couple of issues and then moved on from it. That happens sometimes. Nothing to do with, I thought the quality was good enough to buy a couple of issues, but ended up not getting them all.
When Philippe started showing up in the US, I didn't find his art particularly appealing. But throughout the years, it's evolved a lot, and probably so far, Layla Starr is his best book. I think also working with Ram V might be a good inspiration if you're an artist, because it's not the only thing that Ram V's done where the art is a good device for telling the story. Captain Infinity used to love stories told in the wrong order, but these guys helped put me off the old framing device. You're probably wondering why I'm covered in blood.
Yeah, I know. And the problem I have with those type of stories is you got to get into it 3 times. It's not that they're bad, you can, but you get into it at the beginning when something's happening. Then you got to get into it all over again when the story starts back at the beginning. And then you forget that the framing device was there, and then then that you catch up, and you're like, okay, that's when you got to get into it a 3rd time. So it's like that can be a problem for me sometimes, but not always. So Chris got lots of how many sketch covers did you do for Ultimate Endgame?
I did 55.
55. Wow. That's a goodly amount. 55. I saw some of them, people posted them and you posted some more. They looked good.
Yes, they're out there.
They looked good.
That might be all they find, though, because everybody's returning them because they're all damaged.
I have heard something about that, yeah.
Yeah. And people ordered a lot. I saw Midtown Comics just had basically a whole row of those covers. The one that I got, unfortunately not a sketch cover, was the foil cover one.
No Geruso for you.
No, unfortunately not. I was so upset.
I did not buy one at all.
It's pretty cool. Foil.
Yeah.
Remember foil?
I remember foil.
I remember.
Well, I don't know if that's foil. What is that? I think they call them foil, but is it?
I've been told silver foil has been the name kind of tossed around.
So the foil in the 90s used to be applied to the cover in areas. This is foil like paper.
Yeah, the paper itself is something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it's like a silver type of paper, and then everything gets stamped on it.
Yeah. I actually am not a huge fan of that because like I got the what one did Scott Koblish do? DCKO? Once again, it was in a blind, wasn't a sketch cover, just in a blind bag. But I ended up buying one off of eBay to add to my Scott Koblish collection. But it was like the foil cover was more available than the regular cover and the same price. So I'm like, all right, I'll get the foil one. And I got the foil one. But then Scott did such like intricate, like it was one of his intricate covers with lots of figures. So it's hard to see in the shine of the foil.
Yeah.
It's like you got to tilt it just the right way to see it properly.
Captain Infinity, you're probably wondering how I rendered those chains so beautifully. Well, it all began in the marble bullpen in 1983. Todd was not in the bullpen.
The troublemaker, that's what we're calling him.
Oh, yeah.
The guy who inks Spawn, Daniel Henrique, he had an interview with the Portuguese comic book channel, Central Comics, where he explained how he got into the business and how much he likes working with Todd. He's very happy working with Todd, and he has no rush to go back to DC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although he told how he had been in the industry for a month, and they wanted him to ink Brian Itch.
Did he?
They convinced him.
Okay. Pulp reader.
Well, they're nice, but I don't like how dark they are.
Yeah, they're darker on screen too. I don't think they're as dark in real life as they are in screen. But it's the glare that gets me. It's kind of
it's the glare, and this is as dark as it looks like.
That one is particularly dark. Yeah,
it is.
And if you scan them, they look terrible.
Oh, you can't scan them.
Yeah.
They get even darker when you scan them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have not only because of the foil, without seeing the cover by itself. It looks like it's a dark image anyway.
Yeah.
It must look beautiful on the screen once it's backlit. But you have to, like, if you put it under the light and you catch it correctly, it does look nice.
Oh yeah.
But you have to figure out that particular angle.
You got to get the angle. When you get that, there's a line. You remember the movie Arthur?
It's been decades, but yes.
With who starred in it?
Dudley Moore.
Dudley Moore, and he plays in like a drunk millionaire kind of thing.
Gotta go. I'll be back.
Okay.
All right. But there's one line that my friends in college always quoted, and it applies to what Wilson's saying right now. And he's talking about have you ever seen, because the whole plot of the movie is like Arthur's engaged to this woman, but then he finds what's her name? The singer whose mother played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz.
Oh
my goodness, I can't remember.
Liza
Minnelli. There we go.
Yes.
Liza Minnelli. So, it's a whole, rich boy falls in love with poor girl story, but he's got to dump his fiance. And the line he has about his fiance is, have you ever seen my fiance? And when the light hits her just right, she's quite beautiful. Of course, you can't always count on that light. That's just like with those foil colors. When the light hits them, they're quite beautiful, but you can't always count on that light. But a comic I did buy just for its cover this week is I thought this was a first issue because there's no number on the front, and I never noticed it before. This is a Jenny Frison cover with her. There we go. With the eyeball lollipop. And it's Hello Darkness, but it's like number 17. I was like, oh, I thought it was number 1 because I've never, but it's number 7, and it's an anthology, like a horror anthology with all these people doing. It was a solid anthology, but I picked it up because I saw it last week too. I think it's been out for a few weeks, but that cover, of course, just caught my eye. And I was like, I just bought. I'll show you some Jenny Frison covers, and this is also. Though I think it's more pages than normal, it's like a $6 anthology. So it's kind of like, But but it was a good read. But I forget who it was on my pull list haul said this week, ooh, I hate to tell you this because it's going to hurt your wallet, but she does an alternate cover for the 16 issues before it too. I was like, oh. That's okay. And I started looking at them. I'm like, yeah, I'm not paying $10 a and I looked at them at like my comic shop. There's maybe 1 or 2 I would pay $6 more for, but I was like, I don't need to collect those for their covers.
Well, maybe they'll do a poster book.
Yeah.
And you can wait until they're 40% off at in-stock trades and get the poster book. It's funny how horror is the most common anthology, yet I feel like horror needs the most build-up. It can't be rushed, otherwise there's not impact.
I think it's EC Comics.
Well,
there's such a tradition of horror comics that people want to do them.
Yeah, if you do a horror anthology, you're basically just doing punchline comics. Because
I have to say, Creepshow has kind of gotten away from that.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling more pre-code horror anthologies where just bad things happen.
Yeah.
As opposed to post-code horror anthologies where you had a twist at the end and somebody got their comeuppance. I have to say, I'm really sick of those type of horror anthologies. But Creepshow, like I said, has kind of gotten away from it. The couple of ones I read from EC, the new Oni line, I were like, And this stuff was mainly okay.
Maybe horror is more applicable to the art and not really the storyline. I don't know. If there's no story, then it just, in some cases, it's just gore.
Well, in these Creepshow ones, there's a story, but there's not necessarily a twist at the end where someone gets their comeuppance.
Mm-hmm.
So there's still a beginning, middle, and end, but we're just so used to that twist comeuppance ending that we can all see the twist coming a mile away. And I don't think there were a ton of twists in this one. Let me double check. I can't even remember what the stories were. All right. With the first story was, and like I said, the first story was a guy visiting his old father, who's a cranky old man who he doesn't really like, but he's rich. And he wants to get his inheritance, so he's there with his wife and daughter. And there's a twist at the end, but it isn't a good twist. I won't give away the twist, but it was a pretty nice story. But there was a twist at the end that I didn't see coming. because once again, when the twist isn't someone getting redeemed, it's harder to see coming. So this is one of the pre-code twists where just bad things happen, and bad things happen, and then it gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
The twist at the end of pre-code stuff was things get worse. Let's see. The second story was, what is this? Recollect. I don't even remember this story. Bunch of sci-fi stuff happens. A kid grows up, and there's a twist at the end that I didn't quite get. So second story. Third story. Do I remember this at all? I read this yesterday. Don't remember the stories, so they weren't that memorable.
Part of me feels like that's why I don't like anthologies.
Yeah. Well, some stories will stick with you, but or at least, but usually when you flip through them, you can remember them. Like, oh, this one is men and women go into the woods to fight and run into a monster. Twist at the end is I'll give this one away because it's dumb. The woman was even a bigger monster and killed the smaller monster. Then we get this strange one that's about a pothole that the town is slow in getting to fix. But it's kind of a monster pothole. There's a monster living in the pothole that's killing people. It's just weird. But it was done by Tyler Cook, so it looked nice.
And that's my other kind of knee-jerk reaction to horror. It's like, I feel like some people may feel that horror is easier to do. And usually a lot of people's first comic that they put together and write is a horror story. And is it because it's like you could, if you don't have a property and you want to put out a comic book, you either have try to put out a new property. Is it going to be some sort of superhero type thing, or do you do parody? Do you do humor? Do you do horror? And I think a lot of people go towards horror.
Because I think there's less competition.
Okay.
For Marvel and DC aren't doing horror books.
Right.
Except for maybe the Hulk. So I think that would be a reason to choose horror.
Yeah.
Because horror as a genre outside of comics is pretty big.
Right.
Matter of fact, it's probably bigger in the movies than in comics.
Right. And then those themselves have their subcategories. You have the slasher films, you have body horror, you have all different types of stuff that then, they pick whichever one and go from there. Or again, try to create a new IP. There hasn't been many new monsters. There's been a few, like Creepers Jeepers or something. It's been out for a while now, but it's a
20 years old now.
Yeah, it's 20 years, but it's still a newer lore compared to, that once slasher is done, you got basically Leatherface, and then you also have Michael Myers, and they've been going on for forever. So there's no one trying to get into the slasher. So there are variations and tropes, but it's been a while since something new has been made.
I think people, nowadays artists are probably more likely to be influenced by cinema. When it comes to writing, the writers are still influenced by novels, and in novels, since there's no visual element, horror is mostly trying to be unsettling rather than scary, and that may be a little bit harder to portray in a comic book. So they go for the easy route of doing the bait and switch or the punchline.
Yeah, it's hard to do a jump scare in a comic, and unsettling is probably the best. That's what you can get kind of easily. I mean, Mothman Prophecies was very unsettling. The first time I wanted to get up out of a theater, just go. It just was way too unsettling. that was like one of the very first movies that was like, I'm not liking this. I feel like getting up and leaving. And again, very few movies have ever made me want to like leave.
Nothing says horror in a movie quite like a charcoal drawing.
Mm-hmm.
If you got somebody drawing charcoal drawings of monsters in a horror movie, you got unsettling. That's the horror movie medium. I think that was in Mothman Prophecies. That's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it has. Or kids' drawings.
Right.
Because they've used that in Godzilla. with a bunch of kids who were supposed to be slightly psychic. And they knew Godzilla was showing up because the kids all kept drawing the image of Godzilla.
Another good read of the week was it?
I'm actually considering a front cover blurb for my comic, now told in strict chronological order. Or you can jump around and unsettle readers.
Another good read of the week, Eclipse Magazine, issue number 3. First of all, I really like this cover. I just kind of like the stiff, weird, precise technique. And it's by Pound. What's his first name? And I looked him up. John Pound. In the back, there's a little bio in him, too, but I didn't discover that to an end. John Pound lives in California and was an innovative underground cartoonist for many years before turning his attention to painting. He has illustrated 2 beautiful portfolios, The Recent Power and Glory and Full Color, and is quickly becoming one of the most successful cover painters in the field. I went on and looked him up to see what he's done after this, and he turned into one of the Garbage Pail painters. He did over 500 paintings, I think it said, for the Garbage Pail Kids cards. So nice. I guess that's his underground cartoonist connection too, because weren't they started? Who started the Garbage Pail Kids? That was he was an underground cartoonist.
Can't remember.
But in this one, we have Coyote by Englehart and Rogers. That was good. Role Model, Conclusion by Gerber and Mayerick. Dope by Trina Robbins. Some More Mystery. Ragamuffins by McGregor and Kohler. Vamp Dance, a page by Kaz. And Bag Full of Dreams, Charles Vess, which looks very Mobius influenced. Let me if I can show you. I don't think I've ever seen Charles Vess looking quite like this. It's just this little story in this weird landscape about this guy walking through this weird, very I don't think I've ever seen Charles Vess so Mobius influenced. And there's the Coyote one is pretty good. What is this? It's our one page of Kaz. I just was watching Comic Crack. I haven't heard the name Kaz in years. Oh, and this is also, but someone commented on Comic Crack's video I was watching that he also designed some of Pee Wee Herman's sets for Pee Wee's Playhouse. But there's the Gene Colan Ragamuffins in pencil. And this, you can see why they didn't publish things in pencil. The first couple pages were really light and hard to see. Matter of fact, they look better on screen than they look in real life. They look darker. But they were a little hard to see. And then it got darker. You know, this is before the age of computers. These 2 pages were dark enough. But this is just a story about a little boy growing up and then getting picked on at work. The last page is literally, it's 1968. He's still reading comics, and his fellow workers are beating him up for being an egghead and for reading and then for reading comics. It's like, oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
People don't know that's how it used to be reading comics. And This Steve Gerber, Val Merrick one is part 2. And this so much had to come from Steve Gerber writing in TV, because it's all about how writing for TV sucks the soul out of you. And trying to get along with the censor just turns you into a husk of yourself at the end. But terrific issue. Really liked it.
I'm liking that
I'm having
Planet
such
ad.
fun. What was that?
I'm liking that they also had one of those vintage Forbidden Planet ads in there.
Oh, yeah. Let me show you that before we go. I'll show you
It was always fun to see.
This is how I knew about Forbidden. This is a Brian Boland one, too. Vintage Brian Boland Forbidden Planet ad.
Nice.
This is how I learned about Forbidden Planet, both in London and in New York City.
Yep.
Long before I ever went to New York City.
There goes Chris again. Chris had come in while you were showing the magazine, but now it's left again.
Now he's gone.
Okay, Wilson, what do you got here? The Garbage Pails Kids? Oh, Art Spiegelman.
Oh, yeah, that's whose name I couldn't remember. Of Mouse fame.
Right.
Apparently, John Pound did a lot of them.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. So yes, just some information about them. That was produced by Topps.
Yeah.
I remember getting them as a kid. They were all stickers. You know, you could trade them as cards, but they were also stickers. And you know, I eventually drew a few a couple of years ago. So they're still going strong. You know, Garbage Pail Kids still pop up. That's pretty neat.
It's amazing that John Pound, who did this Eclipse magazine cover in 1983, did 400 or 500. I forget the number it said. 400 or 500 Garbage Pail Kid stickers. 15 years later. I mean, when did they start the Garbage Pail Kids?
1985.
Oh wow! So only a couple years later.
3 years later. Yeah.
I didn't even realize. I thought they were a 90s thing, but I never got them. So.
No, they were an 80s thing. They were around the same time that Wacky Packies or Wacky Packs came out.
Were from the 70s.
Were they? Okay.
Wacky Packs were the 70s. I got those when I was a kid. Yeah.
Okay. So they were still going strong in the 80s as well.
Yeah, they still had them. I think they revived Wacky Packages in the 90s too.
Yeah.
And what's the guy who runs the New York Big Apple Con? Carbonaro? Rob Carbonaro, I think his name was.
Michael.
Is still. He always had uncut sheets of Wacky Packages. He must have bought them at the warehouse or something. For years and years, he would always have a little table set up at his own con selling uncut sheets of Wacky Packages.
Yep.
Well, I was looking at browsing through the Grand Comics database. I found this anthologies from the late 70s called Hot Stuff. And there was a guy, and there was a guy there called Bill Maher. but it's not Bill Maher. The guy actually became famous in animation. He worked for Disney. He was one of the pioneers of digital animation.
Okay.
And because Bill Maher started becoming famous as a comedian, he started calling himself William Maher.
Quick question.
It's amazing how life reads.
Quick question. Are we streaming right now on YouTube?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have stuff to show?
No.
Okay.
Hold on. My studio mate's here, and I was just like, I think we can just stream it on the YouTube. And then he was like, "What's the name of it?" And I was like,
We're on
something.
We're on Paulo Costa's channel.
Yeah.
So just
Cavern of Chaos.
Yeah, Cavern of Chaos. But we're specifically on Paulo's channel, not mine. We switch off every week now.
Yeah. On my channel, it's subtitled Maximum Perspective.
Maximum Perspective.
You can find us live.
The comics I read are the ones he brings in to read. He reads more than I do, and I was like, yeah, he'd probably be way better on this show than I am.
Lefty
Wacky
says,
Packages started in 1967. Wow.
Oh, wow.
What?
Way back.
Well, Wilson mentioned Garbage Pail Kids, and then we started talking about Wacky Packages.
And they started in 1967. I did not know they went back that far. A couple of other 1980s anthologies I got. Haven't read them yet. I put in an order. I'll show you those in a while at mycomicshop.com. And I threw in a few, because there was like 2 comics I wanted to finish my Firefly run I've been buying. So I have a wish list there where I just put things on that I'll get sometime. And this is Vanguard Illustrated. 7, was it 6? This is Mike Kaluta. This is Mike Kaluta. 5 and 6 this is a George Perez cover. Which I think it is. I didn't look it up, but I remember him doing stuff from here, and it looks like his, but I could be wrong. Mojo, it says. But this is an anthology series from the early 80s from Pacific Comics that I have the first 4 issues of. I've had them since the early 80s, but never got the last 3. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get those last 3, and I'm finally going to read this series. So after I finish my Eclipse, it's from 1983, I think it says the date. After I finish reading my Eclipse magazines, I'm going to move on to Vanguard Illustrated. Now that I have all 7. And somebody said that...
that number 6 is Paris.
7, what was that?
That number 6 is Paris. Yeah.
It is Paris. And somebody said that Mr. Monster's first appearance might be in issue 7.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't checked yet, but they said they weren't.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Mr. Monster's first appearance is in issue 7. Who does Mr. Monster again? His name flew out of my head.
Michael T. Gilbert.
Michael T. That's what I thought, but I wasn't confident enough in it to say it.
Yeah.
Michael T. Gilbert's Mr. Monster.
Yeah, it says here it was supposed to be serialized in Vanguard, but the comic was canceled, so Gilbert just printed all of the parts that were supposed to be in there in issue number 1.
Okay. I think I might have issue number 1. I'd have to check.
There's some Steve Perry here. Issue number 1 of Mr. Monster, that is. Here's some. Issue number 1 has some Tommy Yates. Here's some very early Peter Milligan. Issue number 1 is the first work by Peter Milligan in the U.S. industry.
Oh wow!
Something called.
There's some good covers too. They all have good covers.
Yeah. Oh, there's some Mike Barron and Steve Rude there.
Yeah.
Something called encyclopedias.
Huh.
That's serialized in 1 to 4.
I wonder if George Perez's Big Blue Bus comes from here. There was like a famous story way back when called the Big Blue Bus. About this big blue bus that came along to move children to the afterlife or something. Can't remember.
Well, the one with the Paris cover has the Paris story inside.
It wouldn't be that one because I actually read it.
Yeah, the trains belong to us. So it was it before?
It was in some anthology somewhere from the early 80s.
Okay.
I know it narrows it down. Look up George Perez Big Blue Bus. Maybe you'll. But that was like one of his most famous indie story for sure for a few years. He's waving to make sure that that quasi quiz.
Big Blue Bus.
I made it back in time to see me on TV, just in the next because of the lag.
You're a star.
But now Jody can watch us.
It's called
Alien Worlds number 7.
Alien Worlds. Okay. Called Ride the Big Blue Bus?
Yeah, Ride the Blue Bus. Yeah.
Ride the Blue Bus.
By Bruce Jones and George Perez.
I just remember everyone liking that one when it came. That was like one of the highlights. It must have been Alien Worlds then.
I should have noticed that. A few months ago, I did a 2-part episode in that Portuguese channel where I was showing stuff that superhero artists did outside superheroes because we didn't get them that much in outside North America. Because when they license stories, they usually license the superheroes because they're easier to market. So I showed a lot of stuff that they didn't know, and unfortunately, I didn't see that Alien Worlds one. Otherwise, I'd have shown it.
Why would you know about it?
I don't know. I was actually looking at. I was actually looking at a lot of other stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like
trying.
You just have to stumble across it because it's like one of the. It's pretty much forgotten nowadays. So, and George Perez hasn't done a lot of non-superhero stuff. So,
no,
I could see how you would miss it. But next time you'll have it ready to go.
Right.
Ride the Blue Bus. I don't have to go back and read that one now that I know where it is.
And I tried to do something with the writers, with the superhero writers. Do you know how many non-superhero stories Roger Stern has?
Nope, I don't.
No
2.
idea.
2. It's a story in Epic Illustrated with a Spanish artist, and it's a barbarian parody. And the other one is Power Pachyderms. Remember Power Pachyderms?
I have that issue.
The name to say I remember it is a little much.
Yes, yeah. I have an issue that I got in the 80s, and I haven't opened it.
You have an issue. You're a step ahead of me.
Yeah, I picked up the parodies of the Ninja Turtles.
I picked up a couple of them way back when, but that one I don't remember.
Yeah. That's the X-Men merged with pachyderms. The X-Men merged with elephants.
Yeah, but they all have. But one of them is Electra.
Electra, yeah.
And they all have Power Packs uniforms. Friar Tuck says,
"Bring his camera closer." He's already done that. We'll have to find the episode where he gave us the whole tour of the room of the studio.
We should have marked that. I have no idea. I can't remember when that was.
We'll have to see.
It has been a while. We'll have to convince Chris to do another
maybe
tour.
At the end.
Yeah.
I think on
Meanwhile,
Facebook, Smitty did a tour as well, a photo tour.
We should take a look at the inside. We'll find it for you. Don't you worry. We'll take a look at the inside of.
It probably was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, probably now.
Yeah.
This is what I got bought from Steve Rude, helped him keep the lights on in the studio. The Studio Preview Edition, Part 1. And this, if you want to learn to make comics, get this. Because it's all about him making his latest Nexus project. So here's his studio. I haven't gone through it all yet. Here's how he thumbnails the whole thing out.
Nice.
Building a world from scratch. He shows you how he built these characters. I mean, this has really got everything in it. Crowd scenes. And I mean, it's terrific. Inking with a brush and pen. What happened to it? So he's showing you how to ink with a brush and pen. He's even got here's more character design stuff. But it looks like I said, I haven't read it yet because I just got it today. But it looks like he walks you through this all. So if you want to, here's a whole page on hand lettering, why I still letter by hand, and why it matters. So that and he's got page after page of script and finished and unfinished art. Moving forward, small human moments. He tells you what he's putting into the story. I mean, if I had this when I was, 19, I would have loved it.
Yeah.
There's so much information in here. There's so much information to learn on how to do comics. Inking a panel on the live stream. So, what was that one? Redrawing for clarity, where he made changes. He shows you the changes he made to clear things up. I mean, holy cow. There's some pencils, some blue lines, some inks. There's just everything in here. I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to reading through this some more. It was packed really well, came directly from him. You can buy it autographed too. I didn't. Come packed really well in a bag.
No, don't worry,
He
Fire.
can't show us what he's working on.
Yeah, he does like your next.
Very cool.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Are you talking about me now?
Yes.
Okay. Somebody asked to see the action figures, but you were
okay. Want to show them some action figures? All right, let's do it.
If you want to see them, I can give you the full tour if you want.
We'll give them the full tour. It's been years.
Here's a cool door. With the
Are those Mark Spears monsters?
Are they?
I don't think so. I think they're just regular ones.
That's a John Buscema at the bottom. Justice League Unlimited.
Lots and lots of figures. Who else has 3 red tornadoes?
Ah, but they're different colors.
They're variants.
Look at the chest.
Okay. Look at that.
One has blue boots and blue gloves, and a darker blue cape.
Someone asks, did Chris install those shelves? So cool.
Yes, I did.
Oh.
Check out the Green Lantern wall.
Show the brace right between Fire.
A whole bunch of John Stewarts.
Fire and Ice with that straw brace.
What?
TikTok says that Black Hawk is awesome.
Yes, it is. Where to go?
There's a very rare Aztec the Ultimate Man on the other shelf.
Walking Dove.
What? No Hal Jordan? Didn't you see the tons of Hal Jordans up there?
Prince Gavin Starman.
There's Hal in the flight suit.
Tomar Ray, my favorite.
There's Kyle Rayner.
As Ion.
I do have a Hal. There's my Hal.
There's
Jordan.
Hal down there.
Yep.
Calabac. The Superman all lined up.
Death Goblin asks, if you were going to eat one of your action figures, which one would you eat?
If you were a hot dog, would you eat yourself? That's a simple question. If you were a hot dog, would you eat yourself? I know I would. I'd smother myself in relish and mustard.
Ooh, nice Secret Wars line.
I just picked up this Grail item.
Oh, beautiful.
Never even seen one before.
Yeah, he's a hard one, and you got him with the cape. Very nice.
Yeah.
His flyer is a pain.
Would you eat a dinosaur?
We do. It's chicken.
We got the Superpowers, and then the Toy Biz knockoffs a few years later.
Basically.
But on the same, side by side, basically.
Yeah.
Bunch of
the Toy Biz
stuff.
Yep.
The Wingless Wizard.
Wingless Wizard.
That's what the wizard's full name is.
He's supposed to have wings?
No,
No,
he's
no.
wingless. He's the
He's
Wingless Wizard.
His actual name is Wingless
Yeah, but
Wizard.
did he go to school with a bunch of wizards and he was the only one with no wings?
Could be.
They
Maybe.
made fun of him.
I think
like
that's an
Daredevil?
ode. That's an ode to his anti-gravity discs. He doesn't need stupid wings. No Image Wetworks figures.
They did make Wetworks, right?
Yes.
I think Todd. Yeah.
There's the Savage Dragons.
Nice. There you go. There's some Wetworks. Or Darkness, was it?
No, that's Grail from Wetworks. There was a guy, he turned into like all chi. He was glowing blue.
Oh, okay.
I must have bought 20 issues of Wetworks. I can't name a single character.
Well, I think that's Grail and two different versions of maybe Dutch.
I couldn't tell you any of their names.
Officer Klossum is in the house, sharing his Fort Knox.
Where?
Look up there. Read it.
Officer. Oh.
I've never seen a wizard with wings. What a dumb name.
They usually just call them the Wizard.
Or Bentley, if they're familiar with them.
So who'd you fight this time? Well, this new guy. His name's the Wizard. Oh, how big were his wings? Oh, you're not gonna believe this. This wizard, wingless.
I read
Any
that.
Astro City figures.
Astro City figure.
There's the
There you go.
Samaritan.
Captain
the one.
Pollution.
Captain Pollution, yep.
Tom Strong. Look at that.
Hordak.
What?
Tom Strong,
RoboCop.
that's that RoboCop.
Cthulhu. Tom Strong, that is, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And next to Ash.
No
Eh.
boomstick, though.
Is he smiling?
His boomstick is behind him.
Not yet.
He's kind of he is.
Those I think are called tune versions. Popeye. Mine's is also missing the pipe.
You can make
Popeye's-
your own Popeye figure now.
Popeye makes an appearance in the new Savage Dragon coming.
Who's
soon.
that purple guy who's crouching down?
I believe that is Sewer Urchin.
From the Tick.
The Tick.
We got some wrestling Masters of the Universe hybrids.
Ah.
Crossover, they're always fun.
Macho Man at Arms.
Fantastic.
This is Sunman.
Yes.
But
And I
who's it
swear
supposed
to
to be?
God,
Ricky?
he looks
Ricky
like
Santana?
Tracy, he looks just like
No.
Tracy Morgan.
I agree. He really does. Scooby-Doo gang.
I love these Scooby-Doo monsters.
Yeah. Those are really cool looking.
Two Usagi's.
Usagi. Who's the brown Usagi?
He's like a samurai. He's like that helmet he's holding right there
Oh,
on top
okay.
of his head. But then you can't tell it's even him. So
No mystery machine? Asks TikTok.
no,
Just the figures.
no room for vehicles in this place, unless you count the lions that make up Voltron.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Night Mask back there. Ultraverse figures.
Nightman, Wilson.
Nightman.
Nightman.
It's been so long.
Talking about the night man. Ah, fighter of the day man. Ah,
Champion
of
of
the
the sun.
Master of karate and friendship for everyone.
What?
Your other wrestler
Different night, man.
down the hall.
Yeah, they saw those at some point. There's some He-Man classics.
Classic He-Man. Where's Moss Man?
Some trading cards.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Remember the Andy Griffith show trading cards that we are all like went crazy for?
They're worth
We're
$1 million now.
Oh, yeah. Alf. RoboCop 2.
Baseball's greatest gross outs. I don't remember those.
There's 88 of them.
Huh.
I thought we had a second Andy Griffith set. Yeah, here it is.
There we go. Because you can never have too many. All new third series.
I only have 2 of the 3.
Classic.
The Cyndi
Iron Man.
Lauper set.
Cyndi Lauper.
Nice. The Goonies.
They belong together, of course.
Yep. You got the Ninja Turtles?
I got these Ninja
sorry.
Turtles.
I meant the card set since you were in the card
Oh,
section.
maybe I do. I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Tops put those out as well.
Here's some more.
Ooh.
Video
That's nice.
City.
Dune. E.T. Gremlins. Garbage Pail Kids. It all comes back to that.
Yeah. John Pound. Moose and Squirt.
Here's some old vintage He-Man guys.
Ooh, that's from
Like
the
this
Thundercats. Small ones. I had some of those. Those are the Pocket Heroes. DC Direct, I think. Or DC Selects.
All kinds of cereal mascots and food mascots.
Oh, yeah.
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms. Do we have a Lucky Charms?
Keebler.
No, that's
Elf.
Keebler Elf.
Oh.
I don't see Lucky Charms. Nestle Quick Bunny, made by John Romita Sr. Or designed by John
Oh.
Romita Sr.
Oh, I never knew that.
Did not
Yeah,
know that.
he designed the Quick Bunny.
Well, when I was a kid, I wore a Quick Bunny t-shirt. I was like my favorite shirt. I wear it every single day. Food fighters. Food fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Foo Fighters.
You remember Adventure People?
Yep.
Yep. I have one of those.
I do not remember them.
The basic guy that a friend gave me many years ago, and it's disintegrating.
Look at this news team.
Look, he's got some vehicles.
That's true. These are Smitty's, though.
Oh, okay. He shares the studio
Don't
with a
get it
couple other
twisted.
You do got vehicles. They turn into robots.
That's true. My vehicles turn into robots.
people. It doesn't turn into a robot, he's not interested.
Dragon Ball Z. Oh,
Someone asked, did I miss the Battlestar stuff from the 70s? I don't know.
I don't believe we got.
I don't think we have any Battlestar here. You'd
These
think
are
a
80s
Cylon. If I
kids.
saw a Cylon, I would definitely get a Cylon.
And I would,
Excellent workspace, Chris, says TikTok.
Well, it's not me alone. It's me and
Nope.
4 other guys.
What does Smitty call it? The Fungin?
The fun. Well, we all call it the Fungin.
Okay. I didn't know you all called it that. I've only seen Smitty write it. I just saw him write it on Facebook recently.
There
See,
is.
I
yeah.
didn't know how to pronounce it. If it was like the Fun Dungeon or the Fungin.
You're on TV, Jody.
I'm an action figure.
This is my
My
Batman.
size.
This is one of my Batman
Batman.
variants. Unmasked at last. That's the Matches Malone Batman.
Hot Wheels.
There's gigantic He-Mans. What do they call them? Mondo?
Got Joe's.
That's your pet monster.
Where's he from?
He's from the 80s.
I recognize him, but
He was his own. He's his own thing.
Yeah, he was his
Okay.
own IP, and apparently they're hard to find with the handcuffs.
Best not Marvel bullpen ever.
Oh, I forgot about this. My Devastator.
Ah,
Dinobots.
we just finished building ours.
And Blaster.
robots. They're going to replace us all with robots.
Yeah, there's my vehicles.
God, what was her name? Who used to sit next to you, Chris, and said they were going to place us all with robots? Kathy?
Kathy.
Kathy.
Jetfire. Aerial bots.
Robots. They're going to replace us all with robots.
Yeah, these are all Robotech. Except for Skyfire. Well, Skyfire and Jetfire.
Yeah.
The Fire Brothers.
Yeah.
And a circle template.
Yeah. Let's see, a couple more food guys. There's a Lucky Charm.
There you go.
Ah. Hiding out there by himself.
Yeah.
In between the robots.
He doesn't like to hang out with the other riffraff cereal mascots.
Now he wishes he could turn into a car too.
The Savage Dwagon.
I love these 3-packs.
Ooh.
Farland has been doing.
Yeah, they're nice.
I feel like his superpowers line is like hit or miss for me.
Mm-hmm.
I get like half of them. Half of them look like they belong in the vintage line.
Right. I just got Guy Gardner myself, and it's like, okay, he looks good with Hal.
Got to collect them all.
I think I've probably covered everything at this point. There's some
I think so.
Wildcats.
There's some Wildcats.
There's some Kirby-looking guys with Kirby squiggles carved into their thighs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Alfred E. Newman.
What me worry?
What?
What me worry?
What?
Yeah.
Forbush Man.
Amazing Bagman.
No, Amazing Bagman.
Oh, okay. I remember him now.
Forbush Man had like a pot on his head.
Yeah, I just thought that.
Yeah.
Like, he had a pot on his head. That's right, not a bag.
Have they not made a toy of him? And if not, how not? How?
I don't know.
As far as I'm aware of, they have not.
How not?
He's our Sheriff Lobo. Proud Sheriff Lobo. Wrong Lobo.
Voltron.
Low power mode. I'm gonna need
These
to
are all-
plug in again soon.
These are all Batmans and guys who are too powerful for Batman to hang around with.
One day, this Fungin deserves to be turned into a Smithsonian of toys, figures, and collectibles for future generations to know how fun it was to be a kid before the invention of smartphones.
Marvel Universe.
Who's got that poster?
I do not anymore.
I never had that one. It is cool, though. Used to look at it all the time at Marvel when they had one hanging up.
Mr. T, pity the fool who don't have that poster.
Who
The
remembers
one poster
Action Force? Or
I
Eagle
remember
Force?
Eagle Force. Yep. Die-cast metal action figures.
The one poster I'd like back from my youth is my George Perez Teen Titans poster with the Teen Titans tower in the background.
Kenneth Style, Marvel Universe.
Oh, my arms are getting tired.
Time to
All
sit
right.
back down.
Yep, very nice.
And that concludes our Fungin tour for the evening.
Bravo. Bravo.
Awesome. We probably need to cut this part into a standalone video of it.
We said that about the last one.
Yes. Yes, we did.
Hey, Wilson,
Somebody-
quick question.
Yeah.
What did you say was that white marker that gives you a good base for remarking?
It was called. Let me see if I could grab it.
And I'm just trying out gesso, by the way, too.
I haven't tried this yet. It was recommended to me, and let's see if I can find it.
Have you ever tried gesso that painters use, Chris?
I have not. How do comic book covers take it?
I was just trying it. I'll have to try it with a comic book cover. I was just trying it with Magic the Gathering cards, which are probably thicker than a comic book cover. But you also need
Is that supposed to be construction material?
construction material.
Yeah, plastic.
Gesso? No, this is for priming canvas. You use it. This is what painters have used for hundreds of years to prime their canvas. I think they make it. I forget how they make it nowadays.
Hey, Wilson, if you answered my question, I didn't hear it.
So here's the marker brand. It says all for one, but the marker itself is, I don't know if that's going to come in, so I'm going to type it on the side here. Moloto?
Yeah, that's a tricky one if you say that wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's supposed to be Molotov.
Moloto? Yeah, so it's not popping up, but that's
Okay.
the brand. So that's what it looks like. And I'm almost sure I got this on Amazon.
I was trying some acrylic marker stuff too on the cards, and the gesso is much better surface for taking ink and paint. And like one of these is like $8 or something, so it's not expensive. The brush would probably be more expensive because this is a nice 1-inch watercolor brush. I think.
would it be a bad idea to just use a regular brush with it?
I would get something that you can find a cheap one too, but you can just wet this and put the very tip in it and get a good coverage. So that's what I do. But yellow makes a great base paint, whiteout paint. Any gaming store would have it. But like I said, this has been used for centuries for artists for priming their canvas. And it's got a you can feel that it's going to absorb stuff. You can also sand down gesso if you want. So like this would be a cheap way to go actually. For like I said, a can of this is like $10, $8 or $10 I think I paid for it. And if you use a regular brush, you might not be able to get, like if you use like a brush like this, it might take you longer to get it smooth. So like this is a 1-inch brush. I could do this with 2 swipes across. Then I let it dry and I put a second coat on and it's very opaque.
Classic double swipe.
Yep. But that's what this stuff is. This stuff is designed to be worked over. So, and I used some other ones. I was testing out a white acrylic marker, like a 1-inch marker, like he has, just a different brand. And it's a lot slicker. Like this, the acrylic marker, sometimes I had a little trouble getting it to adhere. And it's a lot like if I were rub, I can't tell the difference between the card and the acrylic marker here. It's that slick. But this, when I rub my finger across, I can tell the difference easily.
You could even hear it.
Yeah. That's smooth. That's not. But like I said, gesso is also made to be sanded. I don't know if I have any sandpaper here, but you could sand gesso.
What do collectors prefer?
I don't think they care. I don't think collectors would care one bit. They wouldn't know what was going on.
Wait a minute. That looks beautiful, but the texture, I don't like that texture. Never mind, I don't want it.
I don't know.
I just wonder how it would do on a cover, because if they're flipping the cover and stuff like that.
It depends on how thick. Well, the acrylic marker is wet too. It just dries faster.
Okay.
So both of them there might be some buckling on a cover, especially depending how cheap the cover was.
Right. And we know that they use the cheap covers.
I got plenty of Jerry's old comics here. I can test it out. I'll let you know.
There you go. Yeah, I'm planning to test them out on all the copies of Zoom Suit that I have in boxes, just sitting there doing nothing. So. And someone in the chat said they wanted to see Battlestar Galactica figures, so I could show a few of them that I have in my space box here. So here's a Cylon.
Nice. I want that.
By your command.
There you go. So here's Cylon. Here is Adama. Then we have Starbuck.
Yeah, baby.
We have
Is he missing accessories or something?
Starbuck is missing his cape, and all of mine are missing. Here's another Starbuck that I do have the cape. Here's Starbuck.
Okay.
Everyone is missing their most all their accessories, but I do have a complete Ovian. Original cape. These are a little hard to find with the cape.
Cool.
And then we have another Cylon, which has a little more of the silver on it.
Nice.
So those usually rub off pretty easily. And in the other box, I have a Muffet with his tail. He's a Daggett.
I was going to ask.
His tails are broken.
I was going to ask you if that existed.
Yes. They come in 2 variations. Is this beige and then a brown. So I think this one's the brown, and there's a beige that's a lighter color.
Are there any Galactica 1980 figures?
Not that I'm aware of. The next set of figures don't come out until they do the newer series, and then they did put together some of the classic ones, but not anyone marked the 1980s. And here's a little bit of trivia. If you look at his legs and his arm position and stuff like that, this body is used later to create Mork for Mork. So they use basically the same body for Mork, and they just changed the head.
Mork.
Yep. Mork came in a vehicle, which was his egg ship. And here's the complete eggship with Mork, and this is the only action figure they ever made. They did not make a Mindy in this scale. They did do a Mego-ish type doll scale, but this is why I like collecting some of the Dead collections, because this is the whole set. There's nothing else to it in this series. So they only made Mork.
And Chris, I just ran to the garage and got some 600 grit sandpaper, which barely has any tooth to it. And it smoothed this gesso out real nice. So it's still, of course, like guys who do like photorealistic artwork always sand their gesso so they can get a real smooth surface. So that just smoothed out with a few touches of that 600 grit sandpaper.
Nice.
So if the customers don't like that texture, you can take it right off with a few traces of 600 grit sandpaper.
But you can ask them if they wanted texture, it costs a little more.
Yeah.
If you could tell, you have rough finish and smooth finish.
Yeah, let's get here are the two different gessos.
Well,
Can you hear that?
It's silent. Yeah. The smooth one is definitely silent.
Yeah.
And a bottle of that kind of gesso does go a long way. I had one for years.
Right. You could do many, many, many comics with that gesso. And also, I guess if you were doing a specific, you're talking about doing remarks. So if you were doing like a specific shape, like a head, all of a sudden I got a message from Google Chrome wants to find things on my computer. I don't know. If you're doing a specific shape, then you're right. You probably would use one of these brushes. Like, let's say you were doing a Spider-Man head. You could just dip this in and draw the Spider-Man head first in white and then go over it. So yeah, one of these brushes would work. I just thought of that as sitting here. Because remarks are different than painting like the whole area.
Right.
By the way, I have no idea what I'm going to do with these. I'm just testing them out. But one thing I do notice.
I know that's what you want. I know that's what you want us to think, because you don't want us to know your next move.
I don't want you to know my secret plan. Unlike, well, I haven't tried it with a brush yet. None of them. I can't get, like, I was seeing which pens I could go over without them smearing. Go like with a alcohol marker, which you usually can on paper. If I were to do this on paper, right, with all these pens on paper, and then go over with an alcohol marker once they're dry, they wouldn't smear. But on top of both the acrylic and the gesso, they smear. So keep that in mind. If you're going to marker color them over top of the ink, not going to work. I'll put the color down and then the ink on top of that.
The only problem I see with the gesso is the difficulty of like just setting up at a convention and it's like on your table. Somebody wants you to do something.
Oh, okay, yeah. A marker would be much easier.
That's why the paint markers are so popular.
Right. They're just I noticed with the white ones, like when you're blanking out a whole area, they're sometimes a little tougher to work over than gesso, I find.
Oh, I find they're tough to work over, but also like they don't really eliminate the images underneath.
Right.
Even after a couple of layers. So
yeah. Gesso does that, so it's made to be opaque as possible. I wonder if they sell gesso in a pen. We'll have to look. Because who knows? That could be a fine arts thing.
If anybody would know, I would think you would, but
but I don't.
Tune in next week, folks.
For more tales from stationery.
Here on Stationary Talk.
Stationary Station.
I'll show you a couple comics because I got 2 James Stokoe comics this week. We have got, I don't know, he did an issue of the Twilight Zone, and I don't know if this is the last issue of this series or not. Like, this is volume 2 of Orphan and the Five Beasts, issue Bath of Blood. I think issue 1 only went 4 issues. And I think this one could stop here, but the story still continued. So that might be the last one. This is Orphan and the 5B. This is very Hong Kong movie-ish. Very student of martial art has to go out and hunt down previous students who are abusing the martial art techniques. And they're all these crazy supernatural techniques. There's nothing realistic about their martial arts. But it's been fun. And then this one, I missed last issue. Maybe it was someone during the show said, issue 2 was done by Tom Scioli. He's like, oh, did you get the Tom Scioli one? I didn't know it existed. He was like, well, James Stokoe's doing the next one. So I had time to pre-order the James Stokoe black and white Twilight Zone story. And this is a story. Let's see, how did it end there? Oh, this is a story about, these warriors who, they're back in ancient Rome or something about that time. At least that seems in the beginning. There's a little Twilight Zone twist at the end. That's pretty cool. But it's just a fun James Stokoe drawn story. So, good stuff. You rarely ever get 2 James Stokoe comics in a single week.
Very rare.
Very rare. There we go.
All right, so I have the comics from SDPT finally arrived. And we have here Marvel Age number 1000. So
an
anthology.
Yeah, that came out recently, right?
Yeah, kind of 2011.
Within the last couple of years. Recently.
2023.
2023.
They recovered this fine piece of George Paris art. And cool story starring the original Human Torch. We also have some Spider-Man by Ryan.
You gotten to read any of it yet?
No, I'm just flipping through them.
Okay.
This teenage X-Men story is kind of weird with the art. It's not my favorite type. And we also have some Michael Allred, Captain Marvel.
That looked like a swipe, that one Captain, that Cyclops pose from one of those X-Men covers.
It was some Daredevil here by art by Adam Kubert. And panel grids. And a interesting story starring the Silver Surfer, written and drawn by Steve McNiven. With a
good old Mephisto, his nemesis. Did Mephisto first appear in Silver Surfer?
He did.
Okay.
And it's kind of drawn into a little bit of a Mobius style.
Oh yeah. Well, he's good at figure drawing, so.
Mm-hmm. There are a few other stories with some not so famous characters in civilians. Those are weird, and the poster at the end, sort of, with all the heroes. Another one was another anthology, Fantastic Four Fanfare.
Not to be confused with Marvel Fanfare.
Mm-hmm.
Using the same logo.
Mm-hmm. The story by Mark Waid and Ramon Rosanas. And these pinups are part of the story.
Annihilus?
Annihilus.
Or Annihilus, as I used to pronounce it as a kid. Sounding it out.
Cool retro story. Yeah, cool retro story by Alan Davis.
By the way, I was probably in college before I figured out that Annihilus comes from annihilate. Just never knew it. Never figured it out.
Isn't that a Stan Lee story? That he pronounced it Annihilus too?
Did Stan Lee pronounce it Annihilus? I don't remember that.
I feel like that's. I think I've heard. I think Smitty says it all the time, like Annihilus. Like it was like another example of if he had created that character, he'd know how to pronounce it.
Yeah. He created. We put that in air quotes.
The Johnny Storm story by Andrew Wheeler and the Sarah Pichelli. A little more fun side. And something different. A Dark Horse graphic novel, Wiper. Yeah. And of course by with art by my countryman Ricardo Cabral. This one looks like a keeper. Nice splash page. Good way to start a story. You must be wondering why things are blowing up. You've got robot concierges. So it looks like an interesting world.
You might be wondering how a robot got into the concierge business.
Even the talking scenes look kind of interesting. So I'm going to enjoy reading this one, I think. This is not the only collaboration between Ricardo and the writer John Harris Dunning. So actually, the next time I'll see him, I'll probably ask him if he wants to autograph this for me. So yeah, interesting. I don't usually pay attention to the indie graphic novels from Dark Horse, but this is actually fun. So this actually looks fun.
Dark Horse has got some good stuff. I just usually don't like their physical single issues. Just because they're so cheaply made, but they do have some good stuff. Matter of fact, did they put out? They put out this Scott Koblish project.
Mm-hmm.
He's drawing it. Archie versus the Minor Threats. This is the last issue. It's a Patton Oswalt. Patton Oswalt made the Minor Threats, which I think are minor supervillains in this city they live in. So the Riverdale gang goes to this city and gets involved with these supervillains and a magician who's got this plot going on. So there's all sorts of magic stuff going on. Some really nice. Scott did an excellent job on this. Who is it? Archie Ginger Snaps is Archie's villain character, and of course there's Pure Heart is his hero character. But nice stuff. Fourth and final issue.
Is Scott in L.A. or
Scott's in L.A. Yeah. Issue 4 of 4. Good stuff. Scott's in L.A. His wife is an editor at DC Comics, and they just had a baby last year.
Sorry, it doesn't sound very good.
Congratulations.
If you get stuff signed over here in our conventions, 1 hour session, 6 people will get their comic signed because every artist draws sketches for free. Welcome to Europe.
So if you're one of the lucky 6,
Taking off.
Yeah, there are 20 people in line, and only 6 get their thing signed. Every piece. I got the new FML issue from Dark Horse this week, and it has a nice cardstock cover.
Yeah, they occasionally, like I noticed the Matt Kint stuff will have a cardstock cover. I think it's just all about that. I think they go issue by issue kind of thing. And I think if they put like DC charges $1 extra for a cardstock cover, Dark Horse might too, except you don't know it because if they give a cardstock cover, they don't give another cover. And it might be like, but this one was a $5 one with no cards. Yeah. Like Orphan and the Five Beasts is a $5 one with no cardstock cover. And so is the Archie one. So I don't know what they're, but I've noticed like Matt Kint, I buy more Matt Kint stuff from Dark Horse than anything else. And often they'll have good covers. So I guess it's all maybe what the creator wants too, because that's Matt Kint. He's got his own publishing imprint there, Flux House. But occasionally I'm surprised by a nice cardstock Dark Horse. Often I pick them up and I'm like, they're so flimsy. I don't really know if they're any flimsier than most Marvel and DC stuff because I don't buy in some Image stuff. Like Savage Dragon is flimsy.
Dark Horse, they're nowadays they're not very good with licensing their stuff abroad because we used to get a lot more Dark Horse stuff in other languages. Now we don't. And Image is actually doing a good job getting their stuff known to foreign licensors. Of course, with the Image, you do have to license directly with the creators.
I wonder if Image Comics itself has a mechanism set up for that, though. Like you could go to Image Comics and say, we want to license this creator's book, and they'll go, all right, we'll put you in touch, or they might even act as an agent. I know that happens sometimes, but I don't know if Image does that specifically.
Right. Yeah, back in the day, it would be harder to find the creators. So the publishers were usually the go-betweens. But nowadays it's easier. I mean, everyone has Instagram pages.
Everybody's easy to find. Let's see another my 2 pages of Dean Haspiel this month in. I still don't know how to pronounce this. If it's erotech or erotic, because it's obviously a play on words. And I originally bought the first issue because
maybe it's erotic.
Could be. There's a 2-page Dean Haspiel story in the back. So of course I buy it because of Dean. But the lead story is pretty good. The lead story is an adult story. They got nudity. But it's really sort of an office drama about this company who's making this robot sex doll. And sort of the corporate office drama that goes on as they're trying to get this thing made. And budgets are being changed, and they've got testing, and there's intercorporate politics going on. And it's a pretty interesting story. And I'll say it again. I never like it when they make something look like an old comic. Because I'm like, come on. We're trying to make our comics not look like that. By putting them in bags with boards and storing them away. You make
It's
it look
amazing.
like that to begin with.
Especially when the cover is a joke is a play on an internet meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
You know what? I looked at this cover so little that I didn't even notice that. that it was that meme. How can Steve focus on testing Sandy if he won't stop checking out other models? Wow, you know what it is? This cover isn't particularly good, so I didn't really look at it.
But I think it was made like that specifically so it would stand out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't stand out. See, I think I have one note in my notebook. I wonder what it was. Oh, that's it. I heard this always baffles me. I don't even know who it was on YouTube showing off their stuff they got for Christmas. And he got I don't even know, it was like a Batman collected edition. I think it was Batman. And he was like, "Oh, cool." And he was so excited that he got it because he gets to read it now. He bought all 7 of the individual issues and never read them. And I guess put them away in a box. And now, since they're away in a box, he was like, I'd rather get the trade paperback than take them out of the box. I'm just like, and of course, he's not the first person I've heard. I often hear people said, I got the trade paperback because I didn't want to dig the original issues out of a box, which makes a little bit of sense. But he never read the original issues while they were out. Usually someone says, I want to reread this, but the original issues are way in a box somewhere. And it was easier to just buy the trade paperback. But I'm like, he never read the original issues to begin with. That just baffles me sometimes. I was just like, really? You didn't read before you put them away in a box in a closet? You didn't say, I should read these.
Yeah, give
I
them
just
a
found
read.
that
Or
funny.
the funny thing too is that, what if you don't like the book? Now you got two versions of it.
I hope he's going to convince himself that he likes it. He's got no choice.
Yeah.
Well, that just cracked me up as I listened to it. I was like, oh man. People and their habits.
Oh yeah.
Though I did just I was looking up Beto's stuff, Hernandez. Gilbert Hernandez's stuff on eBay, just looking for stuff, and I saw the cover of the trade paperback for Girl Crazy. Now, I've got a lot of Gilbert Hernandez stuff, but it gets printed in different forms, and I don't always know what I have. So I'm like, oh, those are cool. And the trade paperback was like $25 or something like that on eBay. I was like, let me check and see how much the original issues are. So I was going, oh, these have good covers. I like them, seeing how much they're. Then I'm like, you know what? Before I buy anything, I better check my database. And sure enough, I had all 3 issues of Girl Crazy right on my shelf. I'm glad I checked. Now I know I can walk over and read them. But that's why I have a database, just so I can find things and know I have them.
Definitely makes sense.
Though my database has to be accurate. Because I haven't got the comic yet, but I'm going to make a video of I have it in a trade paperback. It's Steranko's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. #3. It's the one about the haunted house. And I happened to be looking through the trade paperback issue, and I noticed something about it. I noticed the way that Steranko was playing with the horizon lines of the panels to disorient us. I was like, oh, maybe I'll make a video about that. But I was like, I want to see. I didn't want to use the trade paperback because it doesn't open up fully. So first, I was like, I was like, let me see it on how much it costs to get the original issue on eBay. Then I saw a reprint of it. I was like, hold on, I think I have that reprint. I know. So I looked in my database. I was like, yeah, I do have that reprint. Then I went to the location it was supposed to be at, and it wasn't there. I'm like, oh no. Because it wasn't because most all my Marvels are in one place. Couldn't find it. So then I ended up going. I found a cheap copy on eBay for about shipped and taxed about $13. I'm like, okay, I want to see how it was printed originally anyway.
Right.
So I ended up spending the $13 on it. When it gets here, I'll make a video of it. But the strange thing, to add another strange to it, it's being sent to me untracked. I don't think I've had anything off of eBay sent to me untracked in years. It's easier to send it tracked than to send it not tracked.
Yeah.
I was just like, huh? Occasionally I'll get an art card, sent to me untracked because the person just puts it in an envelope and sends it to me. But you can also send it tracked by buying the same stamp from eBay and sending it. But I was like, you can even buy postage from eBay and have the post office print out the postage. It's like you can buy it and say, if you don't have a printer, and say print it out at the post office. So you go to the post office, they hand you your sticker, you put it on, or you hand them the comic and they put the sticker on, and you're good to go. I was like, it's been at least 10 years since I've bought something off of eBay that's been sent untracked. I just found that really weird.
That is very odd. Because even if you buy, your stamp from Pirate Ship, you get a barcode, you get, a tracking number.
Even if you go to the post office, they'll give you a tracking number.
Yeah.
You have to say no. The tracking number will be on your receipt. I just found that really strange. I wonder if I'll come and it'll have a whole bunch of stamps on it. Like he just
that's a possibility. That he just had a whole bunch of forever stamps lying around.
I'm putting them all on this package. But yeah, I found that weird. But when it gets here, I'm going to make that video, and I'll of course show off the book here. But I found that no tracking.
That's wild.
And I think this reprint comes from the issue that Jim Steranko refused to autograph because the coloring in it was so bad. It comes from the late 90s. And it was licensed by an Italian publisher. I forget who. But the Italian publisher licensed the book from Marvel, but there was no coloring with it. So they reconstructed all the coloring. Except they didn't really follow the original coloring. And then Marvel was like, the coloring's paid for. We may as well print it here too. So then it got printed here with the Italian redone coloring. But Jim Steranko hated the coloring so much that the word on the street was he would refuse to sign them at cons. That's how much he hated the coloring in them. I don't know if that is true or was just rumor.
Well, that type of recoloring is not unheard of in foreign publishers. In fact, nobody cared until the 90s. They would there were cases when the art arrived in black and white. The editors had never seen the original comic. They just give it to the colorist and do whatever.
Say color it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I showed. I think I showed a couple once because I have a couple of issues from the Brazilian publisher Ebal, and those were very garish colors.
Let me quickly run through this other stuff I got from Lone Star. This is what the whole order was for. Issues 21 and 31 of Firefly. Since I've been collecting these in batches, these were the only 2 issues I had left to get. I still might get other covers for them because these were $3 a piece. All these books were around $3 a piece. So these are the last 2. Now I have 1 through 36. Then I decided to get some cheap Jenny Frison covers. These were about, once again, $3. Lucky Devils #1. I think this is a 3rd printing. Yeah, 3rd print. Eat the Rich. This is an alternate cover, 1C. More Jenny Frison. And I got these just because I like the covers. I'll read the comics, of course. And Jenny Frison's covers can either go for $40 or $3. So this is, what is this one? The Low Woods. This is a Joe Hill imprint at DC. But I liked all 3 of those covers. Then I also, once again, these were $3 a piece. I filled in my box office poison. I've always had a trade of the first 4 issues or so, but never. If you remember, I bought a mint condition issue #1 like this summer off of eBay, and I was missing 2 and 3. Once again, these were $3 a piece, not mint condition. So I got those. And then here's an 80s book I wanted to fill in. Johnny Nemo magazine. There was only 3 issues of it. I had issue 1. This is Brett Ewins, and Peter Milligan. Some fun 80s, what do they call these? Max Headroom Future Punk. And since I gave away the hardcover of this, Wasteland, this is the 1 issue that Carla Speed McNeil drew. So I wanted that back. Once again, all these were $3 a piece. But the Wasteland is some post-apocalyptic story that I had the hardcover of that I bought years ago. And I gave it away to my students this semester. And I happened to look through it before I gave it away. And I was like, oh, there's a Carla Speed McNeil one-shot in this. I should go get that. So I eventually did.
Donald says, I bought an Alex Toth Sea Hunt comic yesterday. I'm doing a flip-through video on it tomorrow. Cool.
I've been watching your Charlton flip-throughs.
Mm-hmm.
Those are pretty nice.
Yeah, always finding.
I can't wait to see the Alex Toth one.
Donald Rex, of course, is going on a binge with all the Charlton romance books.
Yeah.
A lot of those stories were done by South American artists, so very distinctive art.
Yeah, some nice stuff in those. Those are ones you don't see a lot.
And I'll go through the last 3 books that I have. The last 3 books I picked up is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 19.
Uh-huh. Oh no, he's trapped in Magneto's helmet.
or somebody's helmet.
Oh, is that not Magneto now?
No, because they have is I think a Romanish kind of helmet.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's the point on the top.
Right.
Then we have Godzilla issue number 6.
Mainline Godzilla.
Yes. And last but not least, Absolute Batman Arkham. Or Arc M?
I don't know. I keep seeing that one, and I have no idea why they call it Arc M, because it's Arkham Asylum that the story is about. It's like Absolute Arkham Asylum.
Pretty much.
Why didn't they just call it Arkham? I don't know. I didn't read it, so I don't know. I'll never know.
Yeah, it's Arc M in the indicia.
Yeah.
So I guess to be different.
Yeah, just to be different.
Yep. Those are the books that I picked up at Midtown Comics today.
Midtown Comics. It's funny when I see, occasionally I'll see on TikTok or YouTube or something, my Midtown Comic Haul, but they do it, it's mail order for them. I'm like, oh.
Right.
Oh no, I did it again. I dropped my little ring. Easy to find. Easy to find. I see it right there.
We're going to have to put a bell on those.
These ones are quiet. They don't go all click, click like my magnetic ones.
Well, the magnetic ones wouldn't fall if you just had a metallic desk.
I've got my on the front underneath my drawing table. I put drawers. They're just like drawers, that metal drawers that screw into the bottom of any table. Can't buy them anymore. I went to buy some more and couldn't. So that's where I have this stuck. I showed you this a couple weeks ago that my LCS owner gave me, the Chris Ware stamps. He gave me the stamps. Sometimes he just gives me stuff because I like some of the same stuff he does, but he collects everything. I mean, he's got like a warehouse at home where he collects like old books, comic books, whatever he feels like collecting, he collects. So he gave me this, and it turns out I wasn't sure what this is. It's actually a magnet, but it's like one of the weakest magnets ever. This is not a magnet that could hold anything up on your refrigerator. It's a magnet that can hold itself up, and that's it. And it can hold it. So I've got it on the front of my drawer here on the metal part now. But it's easy to knock off. Like I said, there's not a whole lot. It's got to have a nice flat surface and just not the greatest magnet ever. Especially since I have on the side of the drawer hard drive magnets. They're good and strong. Because when my hard drives break, I like to take the magnets out.
It's Ark like Noah's Ark because it contains dudes that are going to be released to wreak havoc in Gotham.
Are there two of all of them? Or is it like the Ark of the Covenant? It's going to open up and God's wrath is going to be let loose on Gotham.
Could be.
Who knows? What do you think, Chris's chair? Interesting.
Well, we have a stationary talk. We can have a furniture talk as well.
Yeah. What is your favorite chair?
So what's the deal with chairs?
What's the deal? I actually, sitting in this chair right now for our show is about the longest I sit in a chair all week. Because I stand and work usually and rest in chairs. So this show is my longest sitting period.
And when you teach?
I stand when I teach too. I even pace when I teach. Spot on, Dr. Sharon. It's funny. I'm when I teach, I'm only sitting in my chair because my computer is mirrored on like a big screen, so they can see what. So when I'm showing them what to do, I'm sitting. But that's not a lot. Then I get up and I usually walk around and see what they're doing and show them at their computer. And then when they're kind of working on their own, I'm usually standing up, pacing sometimes, or just waiting for them to ask me a question. If I'm sitting in my chair in class, it's maybe for 20 minutes at the longest. Up and around. But standing is much better for you.
Do you have a reed, rip, and slab?
Of course. Want a reed, rip, and slab, or what was that? Museum, den, and trash?
Ha.
Which do you want?
Yeah, let's go with the museum, den, and trash.
Okay. I've got 2 more of that, all from the same week that the first one we did was out. Let's see. Let me see what I got here. Let me get it up and running. I have so many windows open that shouldn't be open right now.
Yeah, and my browser is slow, which means I might be able to actually present. Oh, why are you? Actually, everything is slow. My mouse isn't working.
I swear things slow down for me when I get out of. There we go. Google Chrome.
Oh,
there we go.
Wait a second. Nothing works. Nothing works. I can't speed things up. I'm not. All of the images are frozen. Why are the images frozen? Stop. No. Everything is frozen. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you. I'm moving a little slowly too. And am behind.
Okay, now the screen's definitely frozen.
Yep, we lost him.
We lost him. He'll get back on. Let's see. Let me get back over to here. we got an empty chair. No Paolo. Just Wilson and I. Well, now that those assholes are gone.
They're gone.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out if I want to get remember how when I was buying those other Firefly issues?
Yeah.
This is what happens when you change reed, rip, and slab. And I told you there was that one guy who I was buying stuff from, but his shipping was real high, and he'll refund you the money and refund me, or you can do it this way or that way or whatever way.
Right.
And I was like, well, let's see. I didn't quite want to pull the trigger on it yet, because I know he's gonna. It's a comic shop in Pennsylvania. You can even look them up and find them. So it's like I know they're not going to rip me off, but even still, I was putting stuff in more Firefly issues in my cart, a bunch of different covers and this and that, and from a bunch of different auctions, and the total of the comics, bunch of comics, was around $50. Take a guess what the total of the shipping was. And I know this isn't going to be the shipping he's eventually going to charge me, but
I'm going to say $50. How many books?
Oh, maybe 50, 25, 30 books.
I would say he attempted to charge or wants to charge you up to $5 per book. So
$125.
$125.
I know he's not going to charge me $225.
Right.
But just going through this process is like, I was like, you know what? I'll wait. I really can't buy. They're not really in the budget until February anyway. But I'm like, I
Right.
was like, you know what? Why don't I just email the comic shop?
Yeah, pretty much, because it just seems like, there's supposed to be a section where you just say, send a new invoice.
I can actually do that. But that when I did that last time,
Right.
eBay sent me a notice back saying, you're on the hook for all these books. If he doesn't send it, I was like, what? Because he offers in-store pickup.
Right.
I think messes with that send me an invoice.
Oh.
Because even one of the ways he says is just mark down in-store pickup and make sure you send me enough for shipping.
Right.
Oh, Chris is back. Look at that. We lost Paolo.
Where's Paolo?
And he's our host.
How does this run without him?
It's a zombie
going.
stream now.
Doesn't it just collapse without the?
No,
the
it doesn't. It keeps going without the host.
It keeps going until it
I don't even think we can turn it off.
I don't think so. I think that we ran into that once where it was like, all right, I guess we're leaving.
Is it still streaming into YouTube land or?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
It still goes up on YouTube.
Wow. What'll they think of next?
But Chris has got the full beard now with the flannel. He's looking very lumberjackish.
Yeah, you're gonna lean into it,
Yeah. Have an axe over his shoulder. Oh, he's got an axe behind the door, of course. Oh, he's got a sledge.
Not quite an axe. This is the best I can do on such short notice.
Yeah.
Tit Goblin says America just kicked out Portugal. Dun dun dun. We're just sitting here like with anticipating him coming back, going, is he gonna come? Is he gonna show up? Where is he?
My mom called, so I was like, oh, I better take this call.
How's your mom doing?
She's good.
That's good. What does your mom do for a living? Or did she do? Could be retired.
Retired math teacher.
Retired math teacher.
High school math.
You three can start a new grunge band. Who'd be the lead singer? Can either of you two sing? I'm a terrible musician all around.
I sing. I'm just not good at it.
I used to.
I can sing. I'm just terrible.
I used to enjoy singing when I was younger, and at some point, probably
scary Paolo.
I think once I left college, I was never alone enough that I could just scream at the top of my lungs, and now I can no longer hit the notes that I once could.
How come you didn't join a band?
You know what? I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. I don't know why I didn't join a band.
It never occurred to you. You never wanted to be a singer that badly.
It was either singing or comics. He had to choose one.
And boy, did he make the right choice. Alternate world singing, Chris, he's worse off. He doesn't have a cool studio like that.
Oh, you never know.
Oh, there's our, we got it up. Our museum den and trash. This is our new game since somebody said we should make a game with alternate covers. So I did.
That word is harbinger, correct?
Harbinger.
Yes.
Okay.
Or if you want to be cool, you can say it harbinger.
That's cool.
Yeah, I say so. But of course, what I think is cool is usually considered uncool. So, take that as you will. But the game here is 3 alternate covers. One goes up in your museum. You own a museum or a gallery, and that's the cover that you're going to use to get people in the gallery. Number 2 goes up in your private den. That's the one you look at. That's your one you'll look at in your private den, show your friends. That's reflective of who you are, maybe. And the third one goes in the trash.
Third one goes where?
In the trash. Thrown out. So museum, den, and trash.
I don't feel comfortable trashing anybody. They're all very good. And
It's just a game, Chris.
No.
You can throw it in the trash in the game. Just like in Reed
I
Ribbon
don't want any
Slab.
of these
Oh, we got
artists.
2 Paolos now. Whoa.
Whoa.
1 Paolo, 2 Paolos. Oh. Where does that come from?
Wait, did
That's
the previous
count from Sesame Street.
Did the other Paolo actually look different?
He did. That's because that was phone camera Paolo. That was not a comfortable view.
That was phone camera me, yeah.
It just looked like a complete imposter.
He did.
Like it looked like you were wearing a different shirt.
He looked like Charlton Comics Paolo.
Didn't have glasses on.
No, I did have glasses on. I had removed my. Nobody's seen me clean shaven since
he had like a
2011.
He was like slick. He was combing his hair, slicking his hair back with a comb.
Oh, I never did that.
Well, but if you had seen the other camera version of you,
that was me from the Mirror Universe.
Tit Goblin says, "Holy shit, he was twins all along."
Yeah, my other self is Danny DeVito.
So which one's going up in the museum? Which one's going up in the den? And which one's getting thrown away? I think I'm putting Variant C in the museum because she's got some contrapposto going on, which is an art term. And I think that's museum-ish.
Okay, tell me, because I thought I knew what that meant, but looking at that image, I feel like, no, I don't know what that means.
Contrapposto is the hips at one angle and the shoulders at the other.
All right, that's not
what's the difference between contrapposto and antipasto?
I don't know. One served after the pasta is all I know.
I thought it was twisting.
No. Mm-hmm. It's a classic Renaissance technique to make the body look moving and natural, not stiff. Shoulders one way, hips the other way.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Carrie Evans in the museum, and Raoul Allen in the den, and Felipe Massafera goes to the trash.
I'm putting Felipe in the museum, and I think I'm putting Raoul Allen in the den, which means Carrie Evans is good. I like that cover, but it's going in the trash.
I think I will also put Raoul Allen's in the museum itself. I liked how graphic graphic kind of look to it. That white really pops it out. And then Variant C is what I will keep in my own private den, which unfortunately means Variant D is the one that's going to be trashed. All great covers, though. That's for sure.
I'd say the same thing Wilson did on all three.
All right.
And the only real decision is like, I don't want to have to explain to people like, no, I'm not a creep that likes severed heads.
See, that's what you got to think about with your den one. But I'm putting that one in the museum because it's got a figure drawing lesson right in there, built in.
Well, wait, is this in the museum or outside the museum?
In the museum, but you might make posters of it too. You might sell T-shirts in the museum. It's the one that's going to get put asses in the seats.
The Raoul Allen one is just absolutely pops.
Yeah.
Where Felipe's,
that's why you picked that one for your museum piece.
I think Felipe's suffers from the logo.
It does. You lose her in that W.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think the figure drawing is more museum-ish. That's why I'm going with that one.
Well,
but I could see going with the other one in the museum too, because that would make a nice poster to get people into the museum. But this is why we do these, to have some chat.
This is why we do it.
In Tit Goblin, we didn't get rid of Reed, Rip, and Slab. We got plenty of those left too. We're just trying. We just got a second game now to play.
Yeah, it's like Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
And the Paolo multiverse breaks open, releasing multiple Paolos.
That's Law and Order UK.
Those are 3 nice covers, though, I gotta say.
Yeah, I don't like Massafera's cover. I really don't.
No?
Nah.
Like I said, I like the figure drawing in it. And maybe I think the other 2 work better as comic book covers. But I like the figure drawing in that one. And it can make you feel a little more like a creep.
It's trying hard to be Alex Ross. And it just doesn't do it.
Does not do it for him.
I picked Kerry Evans for the museum because it's enigmatic. Just what's going on with Bloodshot's head.
You can sit there and ponder it.
Yes.
The last poor Uric.
I knew him, Horatio.
Raoul Allen's cover goes in the den because it looks like a poster that you can smoke pot to.
Good stuff.
Probably a blacklight poster. It's gonna freak you out, man.
Wow, man. Wow, man. But 3 nice covers, I have to say, you know. Good stuff. Well, we should let Paolo get to bed.
Yep, it's that
but
time.
we can still freak out a little bit to Raoul's cover. No freakouts on stream.
There you go.
No live freakouts. Next week will be on my channel.
Yes.
Maybe I'll have that untracked Shield issue before then and have made a video. We'll see.
So join us next week for Stationary Talk.
Yes. I think it's only coming from... I often look to see where things are coming from, too, before I order them, like, off of eBay. I'm like, it's coming from... If I got choices, but this one is coming from Pennsylvania or Connecticut or New Jersey, I'm there.
Right.
Or New York, sure. Just coming from California, I'm like, let's see if I can find something
Take
closer.
a little while. Yeah.
Don't let him go. He's going to read comics till morning. Some balloons for you. Some confetti.
Yeah.
Some lasers.
Yeah.
Some rain.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we need double thumbs down.
Double.
Yeah.
All right. It's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to have started raining already. I don't know. It's supposed to get some rain tonight.
I don't have rain this weekend.
See you on Central Comics Channel this week, Paolo. Charles Burns published in Portugal at last.
Yes. I can do 2-hour streams in the Portuguese channel as well. It's me doing 90% of the talking. Seriously.
All you do to me is talk.
Mm-hmm.
Talk.
But enough talking. Time to freak out.
Oh, freak out. Right. Les chic. Les freak. Les chic.
See you next
freak
week.
Out.